keep God first. I see evil, when I converse.
Not today, say.
This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns.
Go, 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 go.
Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off. You living boring, I'm gonna set it off. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it off. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it off. Son of God, no, I am not son of man. Blessings keep falling, the fingers keep coming in. I got you, but just know I'm texting like Uncle Sam. Left to the bank, you know that I'm coming in. We don't do it for the bands though, we don't do it for the clout. Legacy on the line, so I'm moving in and out. Seen good ones turn top dog, greedy ones get knocked off. I keep looking at the bench like I could never not ball. Coach keep me in the game, Curry deadly with the range. I keep looking in the mirror like, who is he? I'm insane. Who am I? He insane. Guess I am the one to blame. What's done is done, won't change. Time to live up to my name. Real will be real, fake gon' fall. Took time with this here, I'm made for a while. No sleep in the while, I won't fall. No sleep in the while, I want it all. I keep God first. I see evil, when I converse.
Not today, say.
This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns.
Go, 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 go.
Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off. You living boring, I'm gonna set it off. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it off. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it off. Told my baby, meet me at the bank. Told my mama, I'ma break the trend. Locked in, I'ma change the weight. Working for my baby's kids. Hard times couldn't make the rent. Working hard couldn't save a cent. Lonely nights, just me and God. Swear to him, always made the ends. Grab a paper, see the news. Hate coming by the tools. Walk a mile in my shoes. Something you can never do. Got my back against the wall. Bet I always pull through. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Sending shots, I block 'em. Superman with the moves. Rock 'em, sock 'em, drop, pop 'em. Play to win, never lose. Run it up, I top 'em. Play full belly too. I hip hop or pop 'em. Anything I could do. The real won't be real, fake gon' fall. Took time with this here, I made for a while. No sleep in the while, I won't fall. No sleep in the while, I want it all. I keep God first. I see evil, when I converse.
Not today, say.
This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns.
Go, 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 go.
Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off. You living boring, I'm gonna set it off. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it off. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it off.
I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, rip it apart. We're letting go, rip it apart. I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, rip it apart. We're letting go, rip it apart. hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, ripped it apart. We're letting go, ripped it apart. I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, ripped it apart. We're letting go, ripped it apart. We're letting go, ripped
We live. What's going on, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome back to On the Mat. My name is Jonathan. We're in the village right now. You guys might be like, I thought you're not allowed to wear hats in a Fijian village. And you know what? It's true, but I just wanted to promo this. So I'm going to take it off right now, but you guys can get your very own office boy Waka hat. We got the bucket hats. We got the purple baseball caps. We got the shirts, Sulus, everything. wakafarms.com/store. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a couple weeks. How big is this cup, eh? It's big. It's huge. What's been going on with you guys? If you guys can hear me, everything, put a 1 in the chat because like we're trying out this new live software. And yeah, while we get our wits about us, thank you guys for sending in your questions and stuff like that. Do you have those written down? Any of the questions from Instagram? Okay. That'll take me 2 seconds to pull up. So I'll pull those bad boys up. Oh, how was my Diwali? Yeah, because we haven't been live since we did Diwali, eh? How was Diwali? Do you all have fun? Yeah. We were... Actually, Stephanie was so exhausted because she was in the hospital looking after my uncle and everything. And so she actually just came home and laid low. And me and Tui behind the camera and the kids, Leaky and Seville, we went out. We had sweets and... Yeah, we went to our friends, the Ranjits. So he and his dad run... It would be like the biggest like culvert manufacturing business on this island. And so like all the big like developer, like road construction guys, they buy culverts from him. So if you need a culvert, talk to Ranjit's Engineering. But they also, the reason that I actually got connected with him was because they also sell tractor implements and stuff like that. Oh, dude, my ring. Oh, Stephanie has my ring. Yeah. We were doing some baking today, and so I took my ring off so I didn't get dough stuck in it. And I think Stephanie has it. Yeah, trying to act single with my ringtone. Yeah, girl, I'm not married. Yeah. So, can you see it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah? It's not bad actually right now, eh? But, yeah, there's no faking that. My internet is not loading right now. Okay. So, yeah, Diwali was good, and then we went to another friend's house. They let off a ton of fireworks. Lots of money in fireworks.
Wow.
I think it was probably like those big ones, hey? The ones that like,
Yeah.
and they explode up in the air. So that was fun. That was probably my first Diwali where I actually like went out and hung out with people.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I usually like don't really get out of the house much. I mean, for those like people might think I'm really like outgoing and whatever, but I usually just lay low. Don't really do much actually when it comes to getting out of the house. What's going on here? Keep charging. Don't give up. Okay, let's start off with an advice. I do like this one. Okay. So my current girlfriend got mad at me for visiting my ex-girlfriend's grave. We looked at this one, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So, the title pretty much says it all. But I'm asking you guys to send in like submissions for like like if you have questions or current events and stuff like that, or news articles that are interesting to you. Actually, I got one on that guy who got his neck slit.
Right.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
So send me the picture of it.
Yeah. Like there's a
news
lawsuit
article?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll pull that up. Did you put that on there?
The skating one?
Yeah. Like
No,
not.
No. Was it the skating one or the one you just sent on WhatsApp?
Oh, that's the Eskimo one.
Eskimo
That's a
one.
different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But okay, I'll finish this one first.
Yeah.
Sorry, my ADHD. The title pretty much says it all. But I've had a girlfriend a few years back who died in a car crash. 3 years ago, I visited her grave from time to time for more than 2 years before I got my current girlfriend. I still talk to my previous girlfriend's relatives. My current girlfriend told me she felt a little uncomfortable to me still talking about my previous girlfriend's relatives a few months ago, but I brushed it off. So it's a longer explanation, but I think we kind of... The other day I went to visit her grave again. It's been months since last time. I cried a little because I talked to her grave about nothing and everything. About what's going on in my life, what's on my mind, etc. My current girlfriend saw me on Snap. On Snap? Oh, you put it on Snapchat? What do you think? That's a bad idea.
Okay.
Visiting your ex-girlfriend's grave and then putting it on Snapchat? Okay, big mistake. For sure that's a big mistake. And immediately called me in my moment. She knows where the grave is because I took her there once and freaked out on me. And she freaked out on me. She told me to come home, which I did. Okay, I'll come, fine. When I got home, she told me I was cheating on her, but her logic was clearly wrong when I pointed out, and she made me sleep on the couch. When I told her I was simply unloading myself because me and my past girlfriend would unload each other's baggage on each other. Yeah, but like 3 years, she's dead too. Like, you also have a girlfriend who's alive, right? I mean, so that was 3 days ago. She still gives me the cold shoulder when I try to talk to her. She doesn't even respond to my texts. I've been trying to have a talk with her for 2 days, and I'm worried because she hasn't come home from work yet. Any advice? So what do you guys think? I think this person, obviously, like, we wouldn't name, and I don't think like for this kind of stuff in the future, like we won't name you guys. So if you have like submissions or like funny stuff that you want to send in, send it to us, because the reason that we want to do this on Mondays, we're going to try it out at least, like or if there's somebody who has a question and you actually want to hop on the live with us, like we did a couple weeks ago, right? That was really fun. We actually hopped on the live with what was his name? Johnny? Yeah, the guy from New Zealand, yeah. And we had an awesome conversation about him and his new businesses. And so we're going to try to do this on Mondays because the headlines are usually a little bit weaker after the weekend. And like Friday is a bit more like headlines, what happened in the world over the week and like all the dramas from our week. Because we don't really have much to talk about after the weekend. So I thought this kind of stuff would be fun. But
What is your advice?
for...
I wouldn't visit. I don't know. If I had like, if she was my ex-wife,
Ex-wife. Yeah, like it's a girlfriend, right?
I'd expect I don't know, sort of respect
Right.
and go visit a grave.
Oh yeah, here she comes. Here she comes. She's huh? Stephanie's behind the camera right now.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a good idea to visit your ex-girlfriend's grave.
Yeah, like 3 years later, right?
Or 3 years later, then
Yeah,
he
like-
visits the grave.
Yeah, like he said, his girlfriend's been dead for 3 years,
Right.
and he like still goes to her grave.
Uh,
So I think like it's too long. What do you guys think? Like I think like, what do you think? It's too long, and like
I think if right now you were going to visit your ex-girlfriend's grave, and I am not a jealous person,
yeah.
I'd be like,
You'd be
I'd be like, screw you.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be so upset.
yeah, well, what was the reason though? to visit?
I would say like the reason.
He
like,
just wants to go and unload his baggage because
Well-
like that's what we always
Oh,
did.
he has like,
But, like-
some closure. You want some closure?
No,
Yeah,
but,
but,
like,
like-
but like then you're not confiding in me or like
Yeah.
you have that.
We've
love,
also been married for 12 years though.
like weird. It's kind of weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
He's just not over her. He's allowed to like mourn her, but at the same time, like
Hmm.
it would be more like appropriate if he was like, hey, by the way, I'm going to go visit this person's grave. Okay. Go.
Right.
If you're just going in like.
But you know what he did was he like was like mourning and crying at her grave while he was unloading the baggage and like took a Snapchat of himself and she saw the Snapchat.
Oh.
Which
Okay.
also, don't put that online. What are you so like desperate for?
Right?
Like,
Right?
Just here with my ex-girlfriend.
yeah, my
Okay,
ex-girlfriend
it's been 2 years.
crying over her.
I just miss our talks. I missed our cuddles. I just, you know, and she's just at home like scrolling. She's like, "What the heck is this girl up to? Is she at the grave?" Yeah,
I
bye,
would tell you.
people.
I would tell you like if that was you. I'd be like, okay, we're done, and like you can miss me when I'm dead.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're also a terrible person. Okay. Very, yeah, I guess that'll get the point across.
Yeah, the guy is weird. He should work on his current relationship if he can't unload to his girlfriend. Current
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
True.
He's confiding in the dead.
Confiding in the dead.
Oh, because it's easier that way. Because
She can't say anything.
She can talk
Yeah.
back.
Do you know what that
Yeah.
girlfriend?
Oh, shit.
He'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
That
Yeah.
girlfriend probably never listened to him ever before. And he's like, finally, you're listening to me. You can't even talk back.
Yeah, true.
Like,
Women
living-
talk too much.
It's like giving him.
That's
Like,
the
way.
satis-
I think that.
Don't worry, I'll tell you when I'm dead.
it's giving him satisfaction in her silence. So.
Oh my god.
He's like, "Finally, you're not interrupting my stories." He's like, "Actually, I got the craziest story for you."
I got a crazy story to you. I saw a video and then
This is the one you were laughing at like a few hours ago? Or
no,
like
no,
last-
that was
oh.
a Samsung and iPhone.
Oh.
Yeah. But this one was the guy was like saying about the Bible and something like, did you know that men took the lead to heaven, and like after half an hour later, then the women would come to heaven.
Oh,
You saw that one?
yeah. Oh, what was the hook on that one?
Yeah.
You remember it?
No.
Oh,
no,
shit.
I think it was a video. on
Yeah, it
YouTube.
was a video. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, Steph, you gotta look that up. Because, yeah, the guy...
And the girl just like, why? And then he says,
Oh, yeah, do you know...
there
Yeah,
wasn't any noise in heaven.
yeah, something like that, yeah.
After like half an hour.
Okay, not funny. You guys
And
don't
the
know
guy
the joke.
just like, and the
Boring.
guy just stood up. Went like, what? Hey, where you going?
Okay, we'll find that one. We'll find it. So, for those of you guys who don't know, there was ice hockey played on ice. You wear skates, and the skates are actually not sharp, but they're sharp on the edges, all right? And they're metal, so they can be, if they hit your head or, your leg, and you don't have padding on, you can definitely hurt yourself. There's a guy who died actually a couple weeks ago playing ice hockey. I think he played for the Pittsburgh Penguins briefly, which is a National Hockey League NHL team. And I think he was playing in Britain. Anyways, he got his neck slit in a accidental altercation. Like, because you fall down all the time when you're ice skating, right? Guys, like, it's full contact sport. They're even allowed to fist fight. After which the referee takes everybody away. The two people fist fight. When the one guy falls down, both guys get sent to the penalty box, and they serve out their penalty there. And so it's actually allowed fist fights. So it's a very intense game. This guy actually got his neck slit with a skate and bled out and died.
Oh.
There, huh?
How? It's actually illegal not to wear a neck guard when you're playing hockey.
A neck guard? Nobody wears neck guards.
Everybody wears neck guards. They have like a piece above like their because of that.
What are you talking about? There's a picture of an NHL player.
Maybe not in the NHL, I guess. Maybe in the lower leagues. But they
Well,
have,
yeah,
like,
lower
these,
leagues, they also have to wear full cage and everything. Anyways, Stephanie's acting like she knows more about hockey than me.
You know dick all over.
Oh, okay. Man released on bail following arrest of suspicion of manslaughter over death of hockey player Adam Johnson, police say. A man has been released on bail following his arrest. Okay, yeah. Johnson died after sustaining a cut to the neck in a collision with another player during the second period of a game. A coroner's report found that the 29-year-old sustained an incised wound to the neck caused by the skate of another player and later died in hospital as a result of the injury. Where was this? Yeah, so it's been called a freak accident. Adam's death has sent shockwaves through many in the hockey community. And there's now an investigation going on, investigating him, the player who ran into him, for manslaughter. Dude, imagine like you're playing rugby, you tackle a guy and you break his neck, and like not in like an illegal tackle, and he dies, and then you can get accused of manslaughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what if you're a golfer and you drive the ball and it hits like somebody in the head, and then you get accused of manslaughter? You're like, where does it end?
Yeah.
Well, and also like in the lower leagues, it's mandatory to wear neck guards. I was just researching it, but
Okay,
not
proving
in,
yourself.
Well, because it's true, and not in the NHL because they've just done that for a long time. But this proves that they should be wearing that. It doesn't have any hindrance in their play.
So what's NHL?
NHL is like the main,
National Hockey League.
like the big leagues, kind of like
And
NBA.
That one is the lower.
The lower leagues, the ones that are
Like
coming up to NHL, they all
Double A,
mandatory
Triple A.
have to.
Hockey and stuff like that, yeah.
They're not like really pro.
Not
Yeah.
yet. Not
But
yet.
you have to go through those stages to get pro. But there's a lot. It's like in rugby, like where there's like in a lot of like lower end rugby, at least in North America, there's a lot of like safeties around. Like if you're in a scrum, like in a high school match, and something happens like with the forwards, you can yell out like a code word. I can't remember what it is, and they'll like everybody has to take a knee. Like if somebody's neck is like, getting compressed or something, or like if you're actually like hurt your spine, you can actually yell something out, and then the whole scrum pack has to like take a knee and like back away. And you're not allowed. I don't know if this is in rugby, school rugby in Fiji. Maybe you guys know more about this, but like even up until like men's club level rugby, you're not allowed to actually present the ball like in between your legs, like when you're in a ruck. It has to be like you have to be laying on your side and presenting the ball like this. Because like there was too many injuries when people were like in doggy style, I guess if you want to call it, like this, and like presenting the ball like this.
Okay.
There's too many injuries, neck injuries. Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
yeah. I don't know. That's what we call it. Rugby guys are perverted. Fighting about our son getting circumcised, or fighting about getting our son circumcised.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is interesting.
Yeah, I'm a 20-year-old female. My partner is a 27-year-old male. We've been fighting a lot lately about getting our nearly two-year-old circumcised.
Huh? With who? Big Tama. Big one. Like.
Tama from which house? Guys, we're live, so.
Big Tama's house.
Okay.
Okay, where are you going?
Swimming.
Here.
Leaky's going with you.
No. When I have
Where's Aliki?
But
I'm a 20-year-old female. My partner is
Okay.
27-year-old male. We've been fighting a lot lately about getting our nearly 2-year-old circumcised. I said before having our child that I wanted him to have it done. So the mom wants to have it done, but after giving birth, it changed, and I was strongly opposed, as I thought that it was cruel and unnecessary. He recently rejoined our lives after being away since before he was born. Oh, he's a military guy, and he is so adamant about getting it done. He used the excuse that everyone in his family is done and it's cleaner, but I'm thinking, how is it unclean to have a foreskin? Just wash it. Like if it's unclean, that sounds like you're not keeping up with personal hygiene. I honestly don't know what to do. I just hate the thought of putting my child through something so painful. I'm talking about the healing process too. It's slowly becoming less popular. I wasn't asked or told anything about it when I was in the hospital, so I don't know. Find that hard to believe, but okay. So this is an interesting discussion. Anybody have any feedbacks? Is there any comments that we should be? I mean,
I'm just reading off on the last advice.
yeah. The hockey one or the one before that? The guy in the grave.
The devil is. Oh yeah, and from normally the the accident, involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah, unreal, eh?
Normally, is body the Fijian word for uncircumcised? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Tangapesu.
Oh, you gotta,
We already. Huh?
No, you gotta say it again. You gotta
Tangapesu?
Yeah, tangapesu.
Did we already explain that in the live?
I think no.
Is there a sack around here somewhere? There's in the shed, eh? Anyway, okay, we use the shirt, right?
Yeah.
So, vesu, so tanga is a sack, right?
Sack.
Yeah. Vesu is to tie something, to tie.
To tie the sack.
And so, so when you say,
Tangapesu.
tangapesu, or tangavesu, it's like a tied up sack, right? Pesu is like
well,
it's a slang, right?
Because in the Fijian
Yeah.
say vis.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a slang, like,
So they pronounce it pesu.
yeah, so it's a slang based off of, like, I guess, the accent of the Indo-Fijian community, I guess. And so then a lot of them, they say pesu, right?
Yeah.
Instead of vesu. So tanga, a sack, like imagine this is the opening
Yeah.
to a sack, right?
Yeah.
And when you tie the sack, like you bring it together and you tie it around here, right? And so this the top, right? So this is the bottom of your sack, and this is the tanga pesu, right?
Yeah.
And this is what they say. Like it's when you tie a sack, this is like the
Yeah, it looks like a
foreskin.
So they were like referring you to like, hey, you tangapesu.
Yeah, tangapesu,
you,
yeah,
buddy,
yeah.
You,
Elephant.
uncircumcised. You elephant.
Okay, but would you think that?
Okay.
I would think in Fiji there is a very high percentage of males that are circumcised. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
At least in
for
the
sure.
Itoke culture. Right?
Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know about the Indo-Fijian, like as far as like Hindu and Muslim. I don't actually know much about that. Maybe somebody can actually give us some
I think
feedback.
Muslims say circumcised.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can't find like a stat, but in North America, this like circumcision is an unpopular thing to do now because it's considered cosmetic. But they have a really high rate of older men getting infections and having to be circumcised after like 50 and 60.
Yeah, because they have like cysts.
No, because
They don't
it's
clean
not,
it well.
yeah, they're just not cleaning it properly.
Oh.
And
And
so
then like there's like, it blocks the.
the urethra
Yeah.
can't pee.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so they have to get it circumcised.
So it's just like when they pee, it's just like a water balloon?
I don't know, but then they have to get it done at an older age.
Oh.
So I would say that that's worse. And there is a high percentage of like boys between like 8 to 15 that also get circumcised because of that as well. Because mom is no longer involved or dad's no longer involved
Right.
in supervising the cleanliness of their kids.
Right.
That they're lacking in that, and then they get infected, and it comes. to
What do you call those ones that are not clean? Those with foreskin.
Those are foreskin?
like in
Fijian. Do you know the word?
Yeah, but I mean,
What's it called?
it feels like wrong. Like, what?
No,
What?
that's the name actually. It's called kora. You know when you call, yeah, you kora.
Oh.
It's like unhygienic, the smell. it gives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I love how
Oh.
like Fijians are so like it's a disrespect thing.
Mm.
Like,
Interesting.
You're uncircumcised. It's like a shaming thing.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, I
feel-
think it's
feel
actually-
like it. I feel like it's,
So, the Hindu community, actually, I don't know about the Muslim community, but I'm fairly certain that in the Hindu community it's discouraged, like to get
cut.
cut. That's right. Something like that. Do Hindus believe in? Okay, so I just quick Google. Hinduism discourages non-medical circumcision as, according to them, the body is made by the Almighty God and nobody has the right to alter it without the concern of the person who is going for it. It's certain Hindu gurus considered to be directly against nature and God's design. So, Sikh infants are not circumcised. So, it's it's actually interesting from a point of view because, like, I think in the Christian community, it's just like, it's at least in the traditional Christian community, it's just like, and especially Fijian, it's like, yeah, you get circumcised. That's what you do. And actually, like, there's like usually it's like before your 8th or 9th birthday, and like,
Weird. Why?
huh? That's actually a good question. I don't know why, but I was circumcised way too late. Like, I actually remember it, and that's a whole other story in
It's
itself.
better to be circumcised when you're.
A newborn. You should get it done.
Yeah,
like,
newborn.
Even
Yeah.
biblically, it says to get it done like right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It feels weird if you're like 8 or 9. Imagine you're at that age where you're. Go to the hospital.
That's what happened to John.
So,
Oh, really? How old were you?
huh? I was 9, but moving on. We don't have to talk about that. That is a story I tell to.
Hey, you gotta tell the story now, man.
Tell it.
What?
Tell it.
No.
Even if you're talking about circumcising, tell it.
No. Okay.
Tell that story.
In the Bible, actually, what's really cool, and so in the Bible, it says that you're supposed to get your kids circumcised on the 8th day. So every boy is supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day. Just in the last, like, in recent medical history, they found out and they decided that the 8th day is the best. Like,
Day for
put the
healing.
Bible aside. They decided if the earliest day that you can circumcise a baby is the 8th day. So in Canada, we cannot get kids circumcised before day 8. This was so cool. So Old Testament, it says every male must be circumcised and no male before the 8th day. And then 2,000 years fast forward, medical, and at least in Canada, they're like, 8th day, we won't do it before the 8th day. And I was like, why? They're like, on the 8th day, or like 7th or 8th day, your body starts producing
Clotting or something.
or whatever the substance is that gives your body the ability to clot blood.
Wow.
Better. Yeah,
Better.
Efficient.
And so, like, if you have like a big like incision, the best time to do that is no sooner than 8 days after birth. Dude, how cool is that? So the Bible is like 8 days, and then like 2,000 years later, we're like, hey, we found out no sooner than 8 days.
Shit.
And it was like, why? Because your body doesn't have the ability to clot blood very well before 8 days. Dude, that's so cool, eh?
Yeah.
Like, it just like confirms everything. So I love that we were able to like get biblical on that, and we're moving on.
Hey, why are you scared?
Yeah,
Sorry.
tell your story. Tell your story.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Ministry of.
Foreskin.
Dude, that sounds like a Harry Potter porno or something like that.
Wow.
Or from Nongli. How many does it take to circumcise a whale? You send foreskin divers down.
That's funny.
Oh, another fun fact from him. Did you know that cut foreskins are used in cosmetics?
No, who said that?
Google it. Normally.
No,
That's why I googled it.
no, you didn't.
Human foreskin.
Dude, are you in incognito right now? You're gonna get the weirdest ads, bro.
Has gained popularity in recent years due to its potential anti-aging and regenerative properties.
Dude, your face, man. Steph.
Yeah.
Cora. No? Is that how you use it?
Yeah, Cora.
Hey, smell it.
The English word for it is smegma.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I apologize for that. That was like, oh, wow. Really? Ew.
Smegma.
Ew, dude.
But imagine that they've been putting like foreskins in their face.
Wow.
Oh,
That's like this new placenta eating stuff that's going on.
Oh yeah.
already? What does that?
So like when you're a woman, you give birth, baby comes, and then the thing that the umbilical cord is attached to, the
That
placenta,
feeds the
it's
baby.
that feeds the baby. It's like a liver. It's like
Yeah,
it's huge.
It's huge. Comes you like birth it after.
Yeah, so like I was like, oh, my baby's here, yeah, it's done. It's like, okay, now it's time to push. I'm like, what? Like, is there another one? It's like, no, the placenta. Like, what the frick is the placenta? Woo, this thing comes out, and that's the sound it makes. Woo. It's a very electronic like EDM kind of thing. Woo. And then, so some people in Canada actually they salt the placenta. It's like this big bloody liver looking thing, and they actually salt it and wrap it, and they carry it around with the baby while it rots because they believe that like the baby continues to draw like essential nutrients through the umbilical cord, and so they think that like cutting the umbilical, like you cut the cord, they think the baby's not going to get a bunch of nutrients that it could otherwise get.
Let's just clarify. This is a very small percentage of people.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're talking, yeah,
And then other people cut it up and eat it in smoothies raw.
yeah.
And then other people, I have a client in Canada that makes pills out of it for people.
So you can like take your placenta to our client, and she'll dry it and prepare it, and then she'll put it into like gel capsules, and then you can like take the
Pills.
because isn't there a lot of stem cells or something in
There's a lot
placenta?
of nutrients in it.
Yeah.
People believe that like mothers.
I've never felt better.
Ew. Right? People believe it like has the nutrients that you lost
Huh.
during birth.
From Tamafata, buried and planted tree where I come from.
That's what we did. That's where mine is. One coconut tree over there at Uncle Jonah's house.
Oh, coconut tree.
Yeah, Dad planted it, buried it, and then planted a coconut tree.
I say when you plant it with certain trees too, it'll show in your personality.
Yeah?
That's what they believe in.
New.
So that's why you're new.
I just didn't appreciate how my dad planted it with a dwarf coconut tree. Like, short.
Yeah.
Why
You're
can't it
not
be one
short.
of these tall, long ones? It was just not very, I go there and like,
Are you like confessing something here?
No. I'm just saying. I'm big and tall. And
Okay, next.
next. Okay. What are you... This comes from, I won't say names, I guess. Well, this is a pretty, innocent one. Do I decide when they're innocent, when they're not innocent? Like, this is just a question about business.
Okay, just answer.
Okay. From Alipate Vuki. Alipate.vuki on Instagram. How is business going? What other businesses would you recommend to set up in that area?
Like what area? Like Sanganga?
Yeah, Sengaga.
Don't set up a business
It's hard to say unless you're a person who has like a serious amount of cash and drive to. I believe that Sengaga is the future industrial center of Vanuatu. It's inevitable because we're in the middle. So think about all the things that come with being an industrial location. I say industrial location because you have Lambasa, you have the boats come in the south in Nambualu, Lambasa's up here, and Savu-Savu is over here. Sanganga is right in the middle. So all the trucks go up through Sanganga to get to Lambasa or to Savu-Savu. What happens most of the time is the trucks start in Nambualu. Is this kid riding a horse kid? Yo!
Hi.
Hey, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
set.
that's fine.
And so the ships come, all the big trucks with all the groceries and everything, take the stuff up to Lambasa, all the way through Sanganga, spend all the extra money on logistics and diesel, pay expensive rent, pay expensive staffing in the city, and then they just take all the stuff. Can you see my hand up here?
Yep.
Take all the stuff from Lambasa, bring it all the way through Sanganga, out to Savu-Savu, and distribute it around the island. So if I was going to do something in Sanganga, it would have something to do with helping those companies out. One thing that I selfishly really want to Sanganga is a gym. In this area, I guess this area you could call Lambasa, that would be something that you could set up in Lambasa is a gym. I can talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Step?
What?
Like what I would do for a gym,
Yeah.
right?
But I don't think like Sanganga's like.
No, I'm saying in
There's not
Lambasa.
gonna be- Oh, in Lambasa, yeah.
There's a lot of money in the north, all right? In the Northern Division in Fiji. There's more than people think there is. there is a very high concentration of extremely wealthy Muslim business owners in the north because they are shrewd, they are smart, and they have good business practices for the most part. I guess I can't speak for everyone, but they work hard and they have generational type businesses, a lot of them, right? And so that comes with families who have a lot of money, wives who have a lot of money, husbands are always at work. These things, going to the gym that I would do in Mombasa, would be because there's all the rugby teams in the north looking for places to train. They have nowhere to go. So if you could set up a gym that people could buy memberships to, but your marketing ploy would be to direct it at women. What I would do is I would focus initially, my offer would be focused towards women and doing like daily boot camps, like at a certain time, like maybe mid-morning once all the kids are off to school, husbands are gone to work, for all like the town area women, because what you offer in a gym, your memberships, a lot of gyms count on getting memberships from people and those people never showing up. So those are the people that will pay the bills, but what you want to market is to the people who need community, because community is something that like everybody is searching for, right? Like either being like health, like there's like three things that will always be like good businesses to be in. It's either like health, wealth, finances, or in relationships. And so you want to kind of figure out how to like get your business into one of those or get your business into a bunch of those at one time. So gyms are already in health, right? So when it comes to marketing, that's a very easy thing because health is very important to all of us. And also if you can attach that to relationships, that's also, am I okay? Just keep ranting. Yeah. If you can attach it to relationships, it's also a really good thing. And so if you can make your gym about community and how people can come to you and find community, those people will, and if they actually do find that stuff there, they get healthy and they find community, it's like, the word will spread like wildfire. I mean, that requires capital. I mean, gyms are not cheap. I mean, go look at how much it is to buy a metal barbell or like, a set of like 25 kg weights, right? It's expensive. I would look for a foreclosing gym overseas, load up a container full of like old gym equipment because it doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to work. And then ship it over here, get all the simple stuff that you need, plus like barbells and drop plates for lifting, for heavy lifters, and then get a bunch of like simple stuff, like 25 of each for like your classes, and then run CrossFits and the women's boot camps. That's what I would do. And then you just need one or two coaches, and then anybody who's like interested in fitness can then come and pay a fee to be a personal trainer in your facility and do one-on-one sessions, and you just charge them a monthly fee for doing all these one-on-one sessions in your facility. You just have a monopoly on the north. There's nobody doing it here, right? I guess there's one gym in Sabsahu, but that's just like a lady who built a house. She wanted a gym, and so
Is it for everybody?
Yeah, like people can. It's up at Kitty's place. Kitty, like what is it called, Steph? Kitty in Lewas Loft.
Okay.
Yeah, like one of our houses there is just a gym. So that's so people are lucky because they have that there. Yeah, that's what I would do. So hopefully that answers your question. Anything, comments or
I
anything?
got a question from Joseph.
Yeah.
There is this employment agency, Employment Boom, based in Canada. I don't know if it's legit.
No idea.
I don't know, actually. I have no idea. What I would do, like you're asking me this right now, and I'll do this live over here. Okay, what is it called?
Employment agency.
Employment Boom?
Employment Boom, yeah. Based in
So I would just search Employment Boom Canada reviews, scamadvisor.com. So they initially, so they say, we think employmentboom.com is legit and safe for consumers to access. It's got 5-star ratings in here. Indeed has some stuff. LinkedIn has some stuff on it. Yeah, just Google it. Like it, I can't say. It is registered with the Better Business Bureau. So just Google Employment Boom Canada reviews, and just everything is on that first page. And actually, Better Business Bureau is like a very it's a prestigious thing, title or accreditation to have, I guess, in Canada. It just means that like their accreditation means a lot inside the business community in Canada, right?
Yeah.
To be part of the Better Business Bureau. So, but I can't speak for, I mean, people have come to my coffee shop and got a bad coffee, you know? Like, so it's not that like, you can't have a bad experience, right? It also depends like who you deal with and like, I don't know. I can't really say anything. But that's what I would do. Employment Boom Canada reviews. What else you got?
From normally, have you heard of the Fijian belief that you can predict the severity of a hurricane cyclone by the amount of breadfruits on one stem? 4 is severe storm, 3 is milestone.
Oh, okay. This is very interesting because out where we light the fires there's a breadfruit tree right behind that bathroom. And one branch is like loaded. And I was like, ooh, because actually normally we did a hem on this, right? You didn't post it yet.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. So because hem, just this like code talk. We did it. We made a post because I actually want to know and understand.
All 3 of us are.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, we know what you're talking about. They're like a ham. What the a ham video? We made a video because I wanted to know because I heard from an elderly Fijian lady that the amount of avocados, if there is a lot of like an abnormal amount of avocados on a tree, that is a sign that you're going to have a bad hurricane season. So I was talking to this lady because I saw we were at this property and there was just a lot of avocados on this tree, and she was one of the caretakers there, and we were just chatting, you know, where are you from, all this, and I'm like, man, so many avocados here. She's like, yeah, that means it's going to be a big hurricane this year, a big cyclone. That was the year of Yasa, which was like the biggest one that we've had in the north in a long time. And then we had Anna right after that, which was the worst flooding that we've had in the north maybe ever. So I was like, okay, so she had actually something to say that was actually seemed legitimate. And so the video I made was like, is there any other ways of predicting this that like our forefathers might have used, such as a lot of avocado fruits on a tree? So what is normally saying? Like one branch has 4, it's going to be severe.
Yeah. And 3 is just like a milestone.
But it's still a storm.
Yeah, still a storm.
Man. I'm going to go count those breadfruit. I'll be right back. I'm going to do that right after this though, Norm. That's actually really interesting. Does anybody else know of any things? Because this is a kind of knowledge, like, this is kind of stuff I love using technology for. It's like kind of like, hopefully like unearthing and starting the conversation on some of these traditional knowledge that will be lost over time, right? Just because we didn't talk about it. And so maybe like me asking you guys this question will like make you go ask your grandma or grandfather, like, is there any like signs in the forest like you see and you're like, oh, it's gonna be bad cyclones or, you know, big storms this year? You might be surprised. Even the simple things like a one type of vine crawling in a certain way, you know, or you never know.
Yeah, Chris Kwong, the mangoes as well, predict that as well.
Okay. Steph, can I have my ring? Can I have my ring? My finger's getting itchy. Can you grab it for me? My finger's getting all, or lotion.
Like serious?
Or just give me the coconut oil. It's by my bed.
Like, you're still married!
Next. No, get away. You idiot. What else do we got here? Yeah, what do you got for headlines? I don't want to. You.
Yeah, let's talk about. Okay, I got like news from Bad Bank, but like you could talk about it as well. But like, yeah, there's headlines here from Bad Bank.
Oh yeah. So we went to the grand opening of Bread Bank, which stands for, I don't know what actually. It's a bank out of France, and they have a lot more influence and clientele, I guess, in Viti level. I have some very good business friends who do bank with them. They've been banking with them for a long time. Sorry, it's all happening here. You're singing so loud over there. That's awesome. And so they invited us to their grand opening, and it was a grand opening, eh? Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, like it was. I didn't know what to expect, and so I went in, like, obviously now looking back, I was like, oh, that was awesome. That's what grand openings are like in Fiji, like for businesses. That's cool. And then I talked to a guy actually at Basha's shop, his son, and he was like, man, that was like, we've never seen anything like that in the north. And so I was like, oh, so that was actually like a really one-off experience. And so they had like a tent in the back. They've put quite a few $1 million into their facility, and the bank looks like something that I'm used to seeing back in Canada. Just the whole setup, like the individual offices where you deal with your personal client representative. And so I'm excited. It looks like something new. I'm definitely going to be looking at opening an account with Bread, not because they paid me or whatever to say anything. I'm just like, that was cool, that grand opening. Actually, I have no idea about what their interest rates are and like what are the benefits of working for them, but I like the idea that like you can come in and speak to someone and they're not a place where like all the social services money goes. So it's not like some of the places where I bank, I won't name anywhere, where it's like all like the social services checks go and it's just like lineups all the time. Like you walk in and like it's good for them. They do lots of business. They get paid obviously from that, but it's annoying for me as a client to like walk in just to like deposit a check or like withdraw money. And it's like you have to stand in line for half an hour. Like that's kills you.
And they have that machine.
Yeah, they have the deposit machine and everything, right? So you can just put your checks in there.
Check your money.
Yeah.
Coins side.
Yeah. So that's gonna be really, really cool.
You
So
know how much they invest in the new branch?
yeah, I've heard multiple millions. I don't know if I can say like actually how many, but it's a lot, and it shows. So there was a big tent out back. They had the live band, live music, free drinks for everybody, like any drinks, right? Cocktails, beer,
Hot stuff.
grog, hot stuff. Like, so I was just smacking the grog with a bunch of my friends, and Steph had a drink, you had a drink. Oh, I had a drink, I had a beer when I walked
I was
in.
just drinking water. How was it drinking?
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. That's what made you start twerking. I turn around and like, geez, he's like upside down. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like. When the placenta comes, it's like, and then Tui's turkey is like,
Well, they invested $4 million in that new branch.
whoa.
Yeah, that's what it says on this article. Bread Bank has injected an additional $4 million into the economy with establishment.
Okay, so that's public, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
anyways, yeah.
it's
So that's, I didn't know if I could say that number or not. Because I heard it from somebody. I didn't know if they wanted that out there or not, but
But like,
it's insane. Okay, it's insane, guys, to invest $4 million in a facility that you didn't build. Like, the building was already there. They just renovated it. And it shows, like, it's very, very nice. But fresh tea and coffee costs like 20 grand or 15. So, you know, I mean, but it shows. It shows, right? I mean, you guys come in fresh tea and coffee. It's like, it ain't fancy, but it's fresh. And on that note, next article. No, but yeah, we're excited about Bread. I'm excited. Seems fun, and had some good conversations with some of the management there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but I hope some exciting stuff.
bro, talk about this. A lot of car accidents have been happening.
Yeah, like that. Okay, so you knew the gentleman who died in the one, not the one where the red car crashed into the Pacific Transport.
Oh yeah, the one.
different
in,
one.
Yeah, the
First Singapore
first
one.
one. Yeah, for this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Jonathan.
Shoot,
He's from Tavia.
we lost a good one.
Well,
He's from
my
Cabela?
cousin. Tavia.
Oh,
Tavia.
Taveo.
So he was like coming back from a wedding,
Shoot.
and then it was on his birthday that the accident happened. And like his family took the lead.
Like his birthday, like his
Yeah,
day,
his-
the
his
day
birthday,
of.
Yeah. His family took the lead and like did a whole surprise party, and he was waiting for them to him and like his uncle and
So they were going from where to where?
from Suva to Nandi to the west. So they
And
were,
didn't
like,
see you said somebody passed them or something?
yeah,
somebody-
some of their relatives. Yeah,
Like
no,
past
it was
the-
Tina, it was Tina.
Oh,
and
okay,
Seth,
okay.
Like some of their relatives.
Like past the
passed
accident? And like, dang, that looks
They
really
didn't
bad.
know it was them.
They were going to the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
And then Del Red Car.
He's a fairly well-known guy, though, right?
Yeah,
In the
he's
community.
very well
Yeah.
known, even in this side.
Yeah.
Like in the AG church as well, because he
Oh,
most of his family goes to that church too.
man.
And then that accident with the red car and the bus.
Yeah, that car just got destroyed, man.
Mm.
It's like, so you guys know, you guys can go online and probably find the picture, but like it's a big coach bus, and the minivan. Like if this is the back of the minivan, the door that like opens up, the van is literally under the bus, like, and all that's left is like the last pillar, like the last. All you would be able to do is open the door. There's nothing. The whole car has just disappeared under the bus. How many people were in that vehicle?
I think there's 3 of them.
Like they must be passed away for sure. Man,
Yes.
I don't know any details about that one, but it just, yeah, that sucks, man. So I guess while we're talking, like, okay, obviously, like, people slow down, like, drive on your side of the road, please. Like when you're going around blind corners. I do not know what is with drivers in Fiji.
Oh yeah, all went yesterday.
Huh?
Oh no, we were coming back from. What was
We were going there.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get that guy riled up though. But like, when you're going around a blind corner mean you enter a corner and you can't see what's around the corner, right? So there's some corners where you like if you're coming down a hill and you're hitting a right hand or left hand, you can actually see what's up. Like that's not blind, right? You see all the way around the corner. But like, I don't know what is with people coming around, especially when you're coming and you're gonna take an inside, it curves say to the right, and then you just like I guess it's always right hand corners because we drive on that side of the road. People always come into the lane, and so every time I come around a corner, like when I'm taking a left-hander, I always like hug to the left-hand side of the road because I'm like, man, somebody might be in my lane, and more often than not, if there is a person in that lane, they will be inside of my lane.
Yeah.
Just trying to like cut the corner. It's like slow down or learn how to drive or learn how to hit an apex like I was showing you that day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's no need. And if you want to stop on the highway, please stop on a place where there's like a bunch of visibility. Like, if you're gonna stop, look for a place where like you can see like 500 meters or a kilometer in front of you, and go to that spot and stop, so that people, oncoming traffic and people coming behind you, can see you from a long ways away. Because in Fiji, like, the thing is, if somebody's pulled over on the side of the road, like, both traffics are not like surrendering.
Yeah.
Like, they just like squeeze, man. And like, where you think like, if traffic's going like this, right, and there's a vehicle that pulls off on this side of the road, you'd think that like, because it's on this lane's side, like this lane would just stop and let this lane through because they have to go around, right? But it's not. They'll just like come into your lane just to avoid this car, and you're like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
It's like, so just stop in smart places, don't cut corners. Like, I've been also on those buses though. Those buses fly.
The Pacific bus. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are they notorious for that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
I don't know if they're
but
all.
it feels
sorry.
so good. Even like
It
in the
feels
bus,
nice
feel
though.
like-
Yeah. Yes. So I took one. It was back in 2017 or something. Because usually we went by Sunbeam. I didn't really do Pacific Transport. I think it's because at that time, I don't know if you guys remember in the early 2000s, but that's when Sunbeam got all their new buses.
Yeah.
And Pacific Transport was old, right? And so it wasn't until like probably the past 10 years or something, Pacific Transport started updating their bus fleet, right? So we always go with Sunbeam, and they're quite calm. We never did VT minibus because that's just like, that was like a death wish in my parents' mind. Like, no, we won't even go to Suva. We just won't go if it's only minibus. Yeah. And so the time I did take Pacific Transport, though, it's like, it feels fine in the bus, but you're like, man, we're coming up to this corner very fast, and we're keeping up with like a little like car, and like going to get ready to pass them. Like, how are we doing this? You go around the corner, it's just like,
Yeah. It's suspension.
what? And you're just like, and it's so quiet in the bus, eh?
yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's just the windows like, man, got all the sound effects today. That's a placenta, tui. And then the windows. Yeah, that's the twerking. Dude, trees are getting vibrating over there.
Okay.
It's actually, I'm joking, guys. Tui was not twerking at the Brad Bank opening. You know what? We left, pretty early, I guess. We never really stayed that long. I never stayed that long anywhere. Like, because everywhere gets weird eventually, right? And so you want to leave before it gets weird and before you're associated with the weirdness. And so maybe there was twerking afterwards. I don't know. I have nothing against twerking, but I'm glad I didn't get to see you twerking. Sorry. But yeah, so what were we going to talk about? The bus, the accidents.
Like, it's just been a lot.
Yeah.
Just this month alone.
Crazy.
And then there's one just yesterday. And the day before.
Yeah.
2
Really?
accidents. Yeah, just this week.
So I used to be on it was a paid on-call, I guess you could say, like fire department for 3-4 years. And so we were in a small town, based in a small town, and like, because it was a small town, I guess rural, like Sanganga or something, like we didn't have like a hospital and everything. So we weren't firefighters, we were first responders, like actually what we were called. And so any like CO2 alarms that would go off, any fires, obviously, any car accidents, any like medical emergencies, if you called 911 in our rural community, the call came to our fire department. And so like, you know, giving CPR to people and like, you know, putting out fires, but also responding to really, really bad accidents. And so there was a bad accident from a family in our church, and both of their daughters were in the vehicle. They're only 2 daughters, and everything in our part of Canada is all grid roads. So every mile there's a road that goes north and south, and every other mile there's a road that goes east and west. So like if you look at like Canada or like the prairies from the sky, it's just all squares. Every mile there's a north and south road. Every mile there's a east. So it's just squares. And so they were coming in a truck full of like anhydrous spray that they spray onto the fields, like full of anhydrous, like just came and T-boned them, killed both of them. And our fire chief went to church with us. Me and my fire chief and the girls all went to the same church, and he was the operator of the jaws of life to like cut them out of the vehicle. And so he had to see like some of his best friends, like daughters, like in that situation, totally obviously past being recognized. And so like shout out to our first responders. Like there's people, you know, and this is what I want to talk about, because I had friends who said like pictures from like one of the accidents were going around like on some truck driver forum. Like they took pictures of like the dead bodies, and like one of their friends was talking about the accident, and he somehow got a hold of the pictures, and he's like, oh yeah, look at this, like look at this picture. Like it was like the person was just like destroyed, like dismembered, like head was like crushed. They lost their son in a motorcycle accident. They had 2 kids, they lost one. And so this guy who doesn't really know them that well, obviously, just is like, hey, look at this guy who died in an accident. And it's like, that is so like disrespectful. And like of the dead, like somebody said it, like respect the dead or something like that. Like this is in reference to like the girl or the guy pouring out his feelings to his dead ex-girlfriend, right? It's a bit of a different situation, but like just have some common sense, like when it comes to stuff like that. Like I don't know, like nobody needs to see the pictures of that kind of stuff, and you don't know like what that might trigger in that person's mind. I know that my friend now has had like flashbacks to images of her son in the dying state that she last saw him in, right? And like now like she's like coping with that for the last week or whatever since like that thing came up, and it's like that's unfair. I think that's unfair. What do you think? I mean, like there's a different relationship with death in Fiji, obviously. Like we see it more because like this weekend I buried a lady I never met, and she's like a 4th cousin. Her husband is like a 4th cousin's father to my dad. It's so far removed, right? So like we bury and we see dead people all the time. It's just different. But like I think we just need to maybe be sensitive and just like have some respect around that kind of stuff, because it feels like whipping out your phone and showing somebody pictures like, oh yeah, I got a picture of that. It's like, good for you. Like, oh, like, oh, is that cool? Is it cool that like, oh, you get to break the news? You know, and that's like a big thing also on social media, especially in Itake culture. Like people like spreading news about like dead, you know, family members that have passed away.
Yeah.
Before like the rengu goes around and like the right, you know, the right processes or the
Yeah.
rengu ni mate, sorry, goes around and it's like
First time on face.
they're like oh I got to tell everybody like oh cool, like wait like good job, like you broke the traditional protocols. Like I mean
Out of respect, right? So
yeah, like break news on something else.
I've had like some people who said like they found out like their dad or like
Or like the
Yeah.
dad's brother, or
yeah,
like close family.
on social media who is not their relative or
Yeah.
whatever, or like a distant cousin.
Yeah.
posting that.
It's even things like Isa, Momo,
Yeah.
Kitty, or whatever you want to say. Like, you know, just like stuff like that. Crying face. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad I have to cry on Facebook. It's like, you put that once the funeral is announced. Once the family members have had the chance to make the funeral preparations and it's public. But like, if not, send the private message. Like, if you want to tell your mom or dad about it, that's what I do. Like, if somebody passes away and the rongrong ni mate has not gone around yet, I'll just call my dad or talk to him on privately, you know, like, because like he's in Canada, obviously. But like, individual conversation different. But like, putting it on a public platform, it's like, oh, good job. Like, you got your 2 seconds in the limelight. For what?
For what? True.
I don't know. That's my opinion of that. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird. It's like the same thing. It's not the same thing. You know when Tuisova's son passed away? Like when he was in the World Cup?
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and people were like, hey, what do you think about this? About his son passing away? And I was like, not because I'm like such a good person, but I'm like, I just don't want to talk about it because it feels weird to like talk about like something that's all over the news. And I know that's what the media has to do to get the clicks, is they got to talk about the things. But like when it's personal like that, like I get no joy out of like you guys watching our content because I'm talking about somebody else's like misfortune. That like is very like that's not already public. That's not already public news or somebody that's like connected. Like, you know, we're talking about this ice skater guy, but I'm not breaking news on him. It's already very public, right? But like, it makes me feel weird that I would talk about Tuisova's son and people will be like, oh, did you guys hear what Jonathan said about it? It's like, oh, I don't know. That doesn't make me feel very good. And I feel like that's what people do with like other people who die, like family members or distant family members on Facebook. It's like, don't do Isa so-and-so crying face. Don't do that kind of stuff. Like, please just wait till the funeral is announced so that everybody can hear about it in the right way. You guys know what I mean. And, you know, for those of you who don't have those traditions, then like, you know, whatever. Break the news. Have fun. But like, for those of you who know it's important, do better. We need to do better.
Well, yeah, you're so right. Why are these people circling pics of the dead? This is so wrong. I've been to a few gore sites back in the day. I've never had the thought to share. Some book. Yeah. Got a question, yeah?
Yeah.
From Mereni. Do Fiji still export cheese from overseas? Can't Fiji make its cheese since it is very expensive?
Or do we export, or maybe they meant import?
I guess.
Yeah. Does Fiji still import, or import cheese? Yes, we do import some cheese, but Rewa also makes cheese.
Yeah.
I don't know if that cheese is manufactured in Fiji. Maybe you have a package in there. Hey, Steph. She might have headphones in. I am talking. Just in conversation with a guy who has a lot of questions about business and stuff like that. He's moving here from Europe, I believe, and he is a cheesemaker actually. So he wants to start up a cheese manufacturing, like a specialty cheese manufacturing, and probably like your generic cheeses as well in Fiji. So that would be really cool. You like cheese?
I love it.
Love, dude. But like this, man, we have this supermarket in Canada called Urban Fare. Like you walk in, I don't know, maybe 80, 120 different types of cheese. Like different types of cheese. I'm not talking different brands. Like there's different brands, but like, I mean, like every cheese is different. You have like you know, like freaking chili infused Gouda cheese. You have like smoked Havarti, like cheeses that you've never even heard of before, and you just like, dude. But like, it's expensive though. That's the thing about cheese. It's expensive. And that's why a lot of us don't eat cheese all the time. Like, I don't eat cheese all the time. It's pricey. But, I mean, that does require milk production and probably a bunch of health certifications. So it would be a very specialty business to get into, but could potentially be done well. Yeah.
Well, this is from S. Junior. I just started following you guys. How was it? The transit from overseas moving to the islands.
Man, I think, I'm coming, like, I think I've, at least in this season of life, I'm coming back to, like, the same answer all the time. Who is this asking?
S. Junior Rayawa.
Okay. So, Junior, for me, it's all about, like, goals, and Tui's sick of hearing this now. Like, me and Stephanie's goals are aligned. And so, like, we both want the same thing, and that's to grow an awesome a business portfolio of businesses over the next, like, 10 years. And, like, part of being in the village and being uncomfortable and, like, suffering a bit and, not making all the money in the world, like, right now, like, we're able to do that because our goals are aligned. And one thing I actually heard just recently from my sister, I'll credit to her, like, she sent me something, and it was about, the guy was saying, like, you as a Christian, at least, okay? So that's how I see life. That's my lens, right? Is, like, through the Bible and the way that Jesus did things, okay? As a Christian, like, when you're in a marriage relationship, like, you are called to your wife, right? If you're a woman, you're called to your husband. So, like, you guys are called first to each other. You guys are no longer called in separate directions after that. So the easiest way to do it is, like, find, like, what are you guys called to, like, collectively? Like, is it ministry? Is it pursuit of business? Is it, is it charity of some sort? Is it, like, we're called to starting this, like, after school, like, boys and girls club together. Like, we do work different jobs, but our passion, our collective passion and our collective calling is this. Like, that's the direction that you need to go in if you're married. I don't know if you are. But, like, I see a lot of people say this because I see a lot of people in Fiji that don't make it or they're frustrated because the husband's, fulfilling his goals, the wife is not. And then, that causes a whole bunch of tension. But, so how do you, like, the reason why I talk about calling is because it's kind of helped me, that the thing that my sister sent me, it just helped me, like, process it. It's like, your goals are aligned. Okay, well, what are our goals? It's like, well, what are you called to? What is she called to? What are you guys called to together? Like, what common interests do you share? And that is probably, like, a good direction to be, like, to go in. And so, like, it's very easy for us to be in Fiji from the perspective of, like, yeah, during the day, even today, it was frustrating to a certain extent, but it's just like, we see the big picture. And so, like, today's just a part of, like, the learning blocks or the building blocks of, like, what we want to do. What was this question again? I think I kind of, like, took it in my own direction. The transition. Well, so it's difficult, obviously, because there's a lot of things that aren't here that are in Canada. But, like, I have a vision for, like, where we want to go. And, like, the joy of, like, of leaving something behind or, like, creating cool employment opportunities and doing something that's never been done before. Like, imagine, like, being us and doing something that nobody's done before in a country. Like, that's fun. Like, whether or not, like, it makes me a millionaire or makes me, like, super rich or, like, this is unique, right? And this is, like, it could end all tomorrow. I don't know. Like, something could happen, like, lose my business back in Canada. I could die, one of my kids could pass away and, like, we give up on all this. I don't know, but, like, for now, like, I don't see that happening, and I'm just, like, I'm excited every day and motivated by the fact that, like, I chose to do something that is unique. And the people who are doing the thing with us are unique people who want to do unique things as well. And so I don't know if that like gets you out of bed in the morning, but like, or maybe you work a job that allows you to do a unique thing. You actually don't really like care for your job that much. So you need to find out like how to like be effective where you are in your workplace, and then figure out how to like, you know, use your skills and talents to do, you know, the stuff after work. But like the transition is not hard if you know what the big goal is. But like it's more uncomfortable here. We don't have a hot shower. Well, we do sometimes when the water pressure is good, but like it's hot all the freaking time right now, dude. And so like it's hot and sweaty, and you can live in Suva like a lot of people do, but like people like see us and like, oh, we want to move to Fiji and like live that life. But you know, but we're probably, you know, live in Suva because, you know, of the creature comforts. Like, well, you're not gonna live our life living in Suva, you know. And it's like you guys see what's happening behind us here, like the kids kicking a soccer ball, and our kids are swimming down in the river right now. You know, rode a horse down to the river. That doesn't happen in Suva. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Suva. I'm just saying like you have to be willing to put yourself in an awkward situation. And if you're like one of these like what Susumandrai, like I've never been back to my village, but you've lived in Fiji, like be me, and don't speak Fijian, and like grow up overseas, and then tell me like, oh, I can't go back to my village. You can go back to your village. It's not, you know. And like I didn't really grow up in the village, so it's kind of like, you know, I don't have any connection. Dude, trust me, you can do it. You know, like it can be done. It just depends if like that's actually what you really want. There's a lot of things about Suva that would be pretty awesome. I'd love to just be like, you want to go to a movie tonight? Yeah, let's go. Let's call a babysitter. Like that can happen in Suva, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a 10-minute drive. And you know, if we get to the movie at 11, you don't get home at like 1 in the morning. But like, yeah, I'm ranting, but yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Alright, I got this article though. Very interesting article. Chief says sorry.
Oh.
Do you want to read that out or should I read it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I can read it. I can pull it up. You updated it here?
Yep.
First, what page is it on? Page.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, I see that. Do we still have people with us? Yeah, a few. Chief says sorry. Vulnerable Chief has asked the. Oh. Oi, Tuimbua. Is that him?
Yep.
Okay. So, how do I say this? You know, everybody like has different giftings, right? And I don't know. I've always had this feeling. So I don't know what this news article is about. Oh, I just read the first. So he's asking for forgiveness. It sounds like he said something out of turn. Just looking at him, like I always kind of like just see people and like be like, oh, you're a person. You're a cunning person. Or like, oh, con man. Or like, oh, you're like, if you're a girl, it's like, oh, you're a person that I should stay away from. Like, you know, if I am hanging around you, like, you're flirty, or like you're inappropriate, or whatever it is, right? Like, just kind of having that like initial like discernment thing. And so looking at him, he just looks like a really nice guy, actually. Yeah,
Very humble.
he looks like it.
Tries not to be the center of attention. He'll always like.
Yeah.
You see him, you won't believe that he's doing well.
Really?
He's just like the people.
Man. Okay. So he looks like, just from his body language in this picture that they picked, it looks like he would be a very kind gentleman.
So he's asking forgiveness,
You go wash your feet and go get your shoes.
asking the
You going to play?
Itake Land Trust Board.
Get your
to
shoes, wash your
forgive
feet,
his
then come
people
inside.
For the negative remarks about the
Oh.
board services.
Okay, so speaking to landowners at the management of the TLTB in Nambualu, the Tuimbua assured board officials that landowners in Bua would work closely with them. TLTB's revelation that, I know the past years weren't rosy when TLTB officials visited our villages. Do you know what this is in reference to? You don't have to go into detail. But Tui is from Bua. Do you know what he's talking about? Like why they would be speaking badly about TLTB?
Well, you know, because there's a lot of promises and
Is there? Okay, yeah.
giving of like lands, like you know, back in like the previous government.
Okay, yeah,
Lands
yeah.
that the people did not know about.
Oh, okay.
All those issues.
All right. Yeah, you don't have to go into detail, but
Yeah.
that explains it pretty well. When TLTB officials visit our villages, this is him speaking, the gossiping about the services will start as soon as they turn their backs. The landowners have also criticized the services offered by TLTB, but we hope that it changes now for the better of all. Oh, so they opened a new office in Nambualu.
Yep.
Instead of make a big difference to landowners because they wouldn't have to travel to Lambasa. Oh, yes, that means less of you will be in Lambasa.
Yeah.
I'm super happy about this.
Yeah, you know the hassle of going and then
Yeah.
they couldn't get things done and they had to like travel back.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
one of my
really
kids is
hard,
crying. Yeah. Yeah.
Visiting the TLTB office in Lambasa means villagers leaving Bua as early as 5
Man.
a.m. Arriving in Lambasa at 10 a.m. Visiting the office and having until 2 p.m. to finish their business before catching the last bus back home.
Wow.
Imagine just going there and then you get nothing done and going back.
Man.
And yeah, so
Yeah, that's not
that'd be a
cool.
good thing.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. But it's weird, like they say such funny stuff, like, or like the headlines are so funny, like Chief says sorry. It's like where the title was, like where the article is actually more about like they opened up a new office in Nambualu, which means that the Lambasa one isn't the only one. And there's a huge convenience for all the...
That's the hook.
It's a hook, eh? Chief says sorry. Boy, Twin Boy, what is he apologizing for? I gotta read this, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny. I sort of wouldn't, you know, like, you know, we're in the media business. I can't unsee like journalism being a part of the future of the Waka media business. I would love to not have to do it this way, but maybe that's just the way that it has to be done if you want to get people to read your articles. What do you guys think? I don't know. Like maybe it's boring. Maybe it's boring, like to say like a new office has been opened in Nambualu. Like maybe you're not gonna click on it. Yeah, because when you're like Chief says sorry and you see a picture of like your king, right? You're like, what is he apologizing for? Yeah.
It's all techniques in form of hooking people. I guess.
Okay, can we talk about something really intense?
Well, I got a question. though.
Okay, yeah.
From Bati Chan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. What are your thoughts on health and medical care in Fiji? It's an important factor preventing former Fiji citizens returning to Fiji to live and work.
100%. Thank you for saying the quiet thing out loud. And it's a reason that a lot of people leave Fiji. So, we have people who leave because of NAC and because of all this stuff, you know, like all these like programs to go overseas. I don't know. I don't really get political but I don't really think this is a political thing. I think it's a public issue that we get to talk about because we're citizens of this beautiful nation of Fiji. Okay, but I don't know if the government realizes how much money leaves our shores because of our healthcare system. Whether that's people who were deciding on coming here to invest in the country, but can't afford a PJ to take their sick kids back home, right? Like, we can't do that. Or whether that's people who would stay here and invest in the country, but instead choose investment dollars and buy tickets and take their family overseas because of healthcare. Two things that mainly do that, in my opinion, are the healthcare system and the education system. I think the healthcare system would be an easier fix. I think. And like, so the reason why I say that is because I feel like speaking in like a world, like an economic position, like as if you're the world, like looking at the world, like you would choose to fix health before you fix education. Both are very important, but I think like the greater human right, like if you're playing like rock, paper, scissors, and you're like one is that you only have two choices, and one's healthcare and one's education. I think healthcare wins, right? Because we'd rather be alive than be smart. I would be, at least. And so kick the bucket. Sorry for the background noise, guys. But so for that reason, I think that like those both things need to have a very serious look into them. All right, we will probably pull our kids out of the education system in very soon, but we can't pull our kids out of healthcare. Like that's something that you put like both are not. Both are. How do I say this? I guess there's a private like system coming in now more, but like one is like chosen, like you can choose to homeschool or private school or public school. Like healthcare is like when I get sick, I need help. Like I just go to the facility that I can afford, right? And so you don't really have as much like freedom with healthcare as you do with like education, I think. And so I think healthcare needs like priority over education, although both need attention. I think that healthcare, everything comes to me, it just comes back to ownership. You know, when I'm like, we've had a very frustrating 2 weeks with the Fijian healthcare system. And I think that a lot of it relates back to people not taking ownership. From a very, hey, do you want me to try to fix those, buddy? Your pants? Huh? Something's wrong, eh? Sorry, guys. Just gotta, here, sit down. Give me your feet. Yeah, something's weird with the Velcro. So, move over here. I think we've had a very frustrating couple weeks, and I see from a very like base level, like just the base doctors and nurses. There are some. The hard part about talking about this is that there are some super good people in the healthcare system. Just like there's some great teachers out there that really actually care about the kids, despite all the resources that they have. They really try their best to give kids good education. But like with the healthcare, I just see so many people that don't have any ownership of anything that happens. Like, well, I don't know. Like we have to talk to like our superior about that, like before we can make that decision. They're like, yeah, that's an option, but like I don't have the authorization to actually make that call. It's like, but you're an educated medical professional, right? Yeah. Okay, so if you think that's the best course of action, then like we should do that thing because this guy's dying, and so like he needs your help. That's why I'm here. And so like if you don't have the authorization to make the decision, and the person who we need the advice from isn't right now, right here, right now, then like, I'm sorry, but this thing doesn't work anymore, you know? And so that ability to take ownership, it comes from the people on top to give the ability to take ownership. You have to give the ownership over to people. You have to give people the opportunity. And I think there we go. Now I got it, buddy. Sorry, guys. Just trying to like fold out this elastic band here. There you go. Yeah.
Can you show my what runners?
Oh, I have to sew the runners?
Yeah.
I will sew your runners after this. Okay? I'll get the needle and everything. I'll sew them up.
Can I go with Nana?
Yeah. Sure. Oh, she's gonna sew them? Oh yeah, ask her. That's a good idea. Yeah, get Nana to sew them. Yeah, she'll sew the shoes. Yeah, I think giving people the ownership, I see that from business, like businesses don't give the staff, a lot of businesses, the ability to like, hey, answer customers' questions or take care of a customer's problems despite, something. How's audio? We're okay? And so I see that trickling into the healthcare system, and I think it needs a lot of attention. I think our hospital in the north, at least in Lambasa, is severely under equipped. There are some very great people there who care very, very much. One of them is Dr. Nilesh. I don't know, he's just one of the doctors, and he is a great doctor. There's other people too, great doctors and great nurses. There's some nurses who know how to do the job better than some of the doctors in training, right? Yeah. They're actually like, when it came to like feeding the IVs into my uncle's arms, like they couldn't find anywhere to like, because his arms are so swollen, his hands are so swollen, they can't actually find a place. And this one young Indo-Fijian guy like comes over and just like skinny guy, and you're like, oh shoot, like, this guy's so young, like. Yeah. But he's just like he's so confident. He comes over, he's just like wraps the thing around. He's like tapping on. Just felt like okay. He just gets this thing, straight in. It's like okay, that guy knew what he was doing, right? And he was just like a nurse, and then all the doctors would try and poking my uncle, like torturing him. And so, yeah, it needs help. And if it was addressed, then we would have probably a lot more people that would be encouraged to move here. But when like, I get why a lot of people just congregate around Suva is because like you got like Nesea or Nesese health private health clinic.
Yeah.
You have Oceania private health or private hospital. Like you have the options that you can actually pay if you're the person who has ability to pay. But like, you know, they have this Look North initiative, but like we're a lot hesitant. People are a lot more hesitant to look north or look to the far west Rekereke region of Fiji when like I'm gonna go there, my kids are gonna die. You know? Like we actually have friends whose kids died in Rekereke.
I feel like the health system in the north is neglected. Or like, I don't know, maybe they don't have like budgets. I don't know why.
When we go there?
It's been overlooked, I think. I don't
Actually,
know
like
what
how
you're
about
talking
this?
about,
Like
but-
neglected just like even from like a point of view of just like being a person who rolls up to the hospital, right? Where was this? This was on a Sunday. I was standing in front of the hospital. And like the hospital, just like when you roll up to the hospital, it's just like, oh, that's on Stephanie's phone actually. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah?
Like the sign for Lumbas Hospital is like folded in on one corner, and it's like sponsored by HFC. And so I'm like, I took a video, I didn't post it though. I'm like, hey, Lumbas Hospital, if you need somebody to sponsor your sign, give me a call. So like, I'm like, signage sponsored by HFC, dude. Freaking Waka will sponsor your signage. It's like you bring some pride to like the forefront of your hotel. And like, if you have a sign, do not let large trees grow in front of your sign. It then defeats the purpose of the sign, right? Because you have foliage that is now covering the thing that you're trying to show people what they're approaching. So like, it's like la sa, you know, pito. It's like, dude, cut the tree down. Like, who cares about the landscaping, right? We need the sign. The sign is there because people want to know, you know, it's the hospital. And so, just no care, just from the sign. Then you enter the hospital. Just freaking take a staple gun or like a nail and just tack up the corner of the bloody sign so that we know, like, there's actually like a little bit of pride. But when I roll up to a hospital, it's like, and they're like, oh shoot, dude, I'm gonna die in this place, bro. I come here to die. Yeah.
It's already showing.
Yeah,
like
bro.
Before
It is showing. Dude, if we go back to Mombasa, we should go take that video there and tell them. Like, I mean, post it, right?
Alright.
I would happily sponsor the sign. It says signage sponsored by HFC Bank. HFC is not doing a good job of your sign sponsorship. Let me do it. I can actually have a designer that makes signs for me. All right. So send me over your design, which is not a design, just say Lumbas Hospital. I will actually make you one and print it. It's just like, for goodness sakes, you know? It's like you roll up, you're like, I was just rolling up, I'm like, oh shoot, my uncle's so dead, bro. I'm like, dude, it just like takes, you know, like as a business, you take pride in like your facility, you know, like that's why we spent like the last day, like, you know, or last week, we brush cutting and, you know, cleaning up our place, even though it is just in the ghetto. We try to make it look as decent as we can, as afford. But like, when you're up to a hospital and like the sign is like, you know, drooping down, like, you know, it's like, man, gives you a scare.
Question.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of overseas companies taking over business, taking jobs away from locals?
A lot of, okay, so no, not in Fiji. Like, there is like a influx of like some Filipino and Bangladesh, I think, workers, but they do the jobs that nobody else wants to do, and so they come to Fiji, and so like I don't want to hear people complain about like people, like workers coming in, if like you're not willing to go do the job that they do, because people will hire you. And this is actually something I wanted to talk about on here. It was like, you know, what you bring to the table as a worker. You know, a lot of people. I'll answer the question first. So I don't think there's many, but there's a little bit in like the public sector, like when it comes to construction and stuff like that. I've seen like with Domodai City, there's some like Filipino or Bangladesh workers there. Hey,
Yeah.
because they like always go shopping at the New World and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of that, you know, Grace Road, but they're all, you know, slaves. And Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's more a big deal like that a lot of talent leaves Fiji because of, poor education or healthcare, or, these programs that encourage people to go overseas. You know what happens when a husband goes overseas? Either the family falls apart or the family follows, and you lose all those people. So, yeah, and like we said before, like building a thriving economy is not just pumping money into it. Like you need to build the things that money buys, not just bring in money, right? That's how you actually like build an economy, is to make more of the things that money buys, not just make more money. And so like what we do when we send people overseas and they just send their paycheck back to the wives is just printing money. Like you're just sending in money and then it just goes away. It just goes away. It goes away. But if you were rather to like, encourage people and like maybe make things a bit simpler. I think that's where we come in. Like we're using our platform for is like helping people, make it easier for people to open businesses so that they're encouraged to invest, improve the healthcare system so that people are more encouraged to come back home or stay here. Then you're actually like, if people start a business, like that employs people, those people that are employed can be taxed, the business can be taxed. Like it's just a way better approach. And I forget the original question.
Or is there
But-
a lot of overseas companies taking over business?
Yeah, maybe more in the hotel industry. Like you might have like big hotel chains buying up like the smaller hotels. I don't know much about that because we're not in the tourist sector. But like when it comes to that, like what I was wanting to talk about was like, if you are a person who's like, because this happens in Canada all the time. There's a huge influx of Filipino people over the last 10, 15 years in Canada that are just taking over the whole labor workforce, doing the jobs, like the minimum wage kind of jobs. They all like live together and they just crush. And like they're coming up and they're sending money back home, and a lot of that money's made and then leaves the country, right? And a lot of people have opinions about that. And it's like, those people are doing the job like you don't want to do. You want to get paid for something that like you're not worth. And like you're not willing to put in like the hard graft, whatever people say in Britain. You're not willing to like graft in order to like get to where you need to be. Like I see this like so much all over the place, and even overseas. Like people want to get paid what they picture themselves being worth. Like your customers, as a business owner, like your customers will tell you what you're worth. And so the same thing goes for in business. Like if you're an employee, like if you're a person who shows up to work at like, you start work at 9, you show up at 8:58 at the office, and then like, you take 10 minutes to get everything set up, and then you're working by 9:15, and then you want a raise, get out of here, man. Like work starts at 9. If you're not starting work at 9 because you need 15 minutes, show up at 8:45 so you can start work at 9. I don't pay you to show up. And then I'm not saying like I got a problem, like it sounds like I have like a person in our staff who does this. I don't, but I'm just saying like I see this, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, but I don't get paid much. It's like because like you work like a person who doesn't get paid much. If you want to get paid more, then work like a person who gets paid more. Don't be like, oh, if I get paid more, I work harder. That's not how I got raises, and that's not how I would give raises either as a business owner. If you want to get paid more, then work like a person who deserves more. Because then, like, I will see that, and if I don't, somebody else will see it. And, like, all that hard work pays off, and then you can go somewhere else and get more from a better employer. But, like, you can't, like, show up and then half-ass what you're doing and then expect somebody to, like, give you a raise. Like, get out of here with that. And I see so many people that, like, they just want, like, they want to get rewarded before they put in any hard work, right? Yeah. And it's like, dude, like, I don't get to, like, as a business owner or like as a boss, like other employer or whatever, you don't get rewarded before you put in the hard work. So you can't reward people before they put in the hard work. Like, it gets to a point, so it's like hopefully one day where like we make a bunch of money and we can start hiring just like the best people. But they're getting, like, we're taking them from other companies. Like, I'm going to those people and I'm like, I see what your company does, and it's because of you. I want to hire you because I know you're a great person. Because you're the person who's ready by 9 o'clock and, like, firing on all cylinders and, like, willing to take a call, at 4:59, even though you knock off at 5, right? It's like, those are the people who get rewarded in the long run. I don't get rewarded before I put in the hard work. And so my employees can't either. Like, I wish we could, but like, we have to like work as though we are working towards the people that we want to be and the pay that we want to see. You can't get the pay before you're, you know, willing to put in the hard yards. Sorry.
Nice.
It's a bit of a
Yeah,
rant.
normally I work 8 hours straight, no coffee break, 7 minutes, lunch break.
There you go. That's intense. That's intense.
Mm.
I didn't do that. Like I would, but like we all show hard work. Like, so, you know, like I was working as a mechanic, but then like, cause I had a background in construction, like I did all the carpentry and like expansion for our buildings. And so like I would come in after hours and paint and frame and build and do that kind of stuff. But I was like, yo, like I want to be a valued member of this company. I believed in what my ex-boss was doing and his vision. And I'm like, I want to be a part of that vision. I'm going to put in the work. And like Stephanie, we had a lot of hard times, like conversations and frustrations, because like I would work extra long hours. She's like, why? You're not getting paid for it. It's like, I don't need to get paid because I believe in where this guy's going. Like, I want to go where this guy's going. Like, and I believe what he says, and he works hard himself. He works harder than me. And so therefore I can work this hard because like I like his work ethic and the way that he executes so far shows me that like we are going to get there. So I'm willing to put in the hard work. So like somebody like Norm Lee is like an example of a person that you would put in a management position if he was in a company with a bunch of people, because like whether or not he had like a lot of skills, you would put him in some sort of leadership position that would make people look at him, right? Like you just gotta like, you have to put the people that you want to, all your employees to be like, in the limelight. And sometimes that's not even like putting them in a management position. That might be just like always giving them an ear as a boss. Like, you know, if they have something to say, or like when you come down onto the shop floor, like going and talking to them, you know, be like, man, that guy really has like the boss's like respect or whatever like that. But like, also I bet you Norm Lee has achieved things that a lot of us haven't achieved because we don't work, what did he say? 8-hour days.
8 hours straight, no coffee breaks.
No coffee breaks.
7 minutes.
7-minute lunch break, baby. Yeah. Yeah, like some people, they show up to work and then they're like, okay, I'll get set up. Now I'll go take my smoke break, work, I'll scroll, and then I'm going to text, and I'll take a call, and then I'm going to take my lunch, and then, you know, and then I'll take another smoke break. And it's like, dude, like I worked with people like that in the restaurant industry. It's like, man, you don't care. And like, it's clear when people don't care. So we can't be upset when people come and take our jobs if we're not willing to like put in the same amount of work. Like somebody, either tech will take your job or somebody from the Philippines will take your job. And like both are happy to, because the tech's controlled by somebody who's making money, and the Filipino guys, like his money doubles where he lives, and he's happy to live there. And his family is freaking so happy. So
This will be our last item.
okay, are we losing people there?
No.
Huh? We got the solid few.
Yeah. You heard about Starlink issued license to provide internet services in Fiji.
When was this?
This morning.
Oh, really? Hello. I said hello. Where is it? Please show me. Oh, interlink, no. Where we at here? Where we at? Okay, you have to read this. Pardon me? Yeah, you have to ask Mom to open the truck because I am, I don't have the keys. Alright?
On top.
Oh, okay, here we go. Woohoo! Let's go! What did people say?
One question though. Frank Hicks, opening a small shop in front your home. What papers do you need? Any advice?
Opening up a small shop. What papers do you need? So first of all, you need to, well, like with any business, like what you need is like a product to sell, so you have that. You need a license to operate, and you need to have a means of like collecting payment. So in Fiji, that's cash. So basically like if you're opening a canteen, get a business license, and congratulations, you have a business. So just go to you can do it online, just digital profile Fiji, I think it is. Let me just look it up right now.
Depends on where they're staying to, eh? If it's near the town area, they probably have to go to town council as well, eh?
If it's just
Using the...
yeah, I guess, yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking about the village setting. Yeah, if you're in town, yeah, it might need zoning, like special things for zoning, right?
So I don't know if in a village setting or
Yeah, you know what? Send us a DM on Facebook or Instagram, and then I will make a post about it on our page. Thank you for participating in this live. If you're actually interested in this, I will take your question. Frank Hicks. Send us a DM on whichever platform as Frank Hicks, and then I will make the post on our page, and I'll just put asking for a friend, and right, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
And then you can just read all the comments, and there might be some helpful stuff that comes in there.
Yeah.
And just like tell us like the details, and I'll just try to like summarize it and like, hey, I have a friend who's wants to open a canteen in the front of their house in such and such a city. He's wondering about what all documentation he needs. Can you help? And we might get some cool comments. Thank you for joining us on the live, Frank. Appreciate that. But anyways, it's digital registration Fiji. If you look that up, you can check like if the business name is taken. You can register your business name. And then like it'll give you 10 days to pay online, you can pay online, or it'll give you like 10 days or something to go pay at a registrar's office. So that's usually the birth, deaths, and marriages office, or the register of companies office in Suva. Yeah. Okay, so Starlink. Where's this link? Okay, Starlink Fiji PT Limited has been granted a Spectrum license, or whatever that means. Sounds like rectum. Spectrum license by the Ministry of Communications and Telecommunications, licensed by the... Hey guys, I love it. Okay, can I just read this for you guys? Starlink Fiji PT Limited has been granted a Spectrum license by the Ministry of Communications and a telecommunications license by the Telecommunications Authority of Fiji. My tongue about to fall out of my mouth. This marks a significant step for Fiji by granting the rights to Starlink, a leading provider of low Earth orbiting satellite systems to provide internet access to businesses and customers in Fiji. Complementing terrestrial, put your hands in there, everybody. I want to see your, empty, no blood in your wrists. Complementing terrestrial connectivity, the evolution of low Earth orbit satellite constellations, in providing robust telecommunication services, put your hands in the air, everybody, because we're celebrating, has become as a lifeline to for graphically dispersed countries like Fiji. Let's go. Okay, we're still celebrating because we're still reading. With low late... Okay, boring. Line Minister so-and-so says the licensing of Starlink for commercial use is a game changer for Fiji as it strengthens our resilience in providing... Keep your hands up, everybody. Providing connectivity during natural disasters. Yes! This also serves the purpose of the Fijian government's effort to connect the unconnected population in maritime communities without incurring significant upfront capital costs. He adds that he looks forward to Starlink, an existing telecommunications company, is partnering with the ministry to bridge the digital divide. Put your hands down. Okay. So that's pretty freaking cool, everybody. That's pretty cool. I'm excited to to see this happen. And yeah, I cannot wait because we live in the jungle, and so that kind of stuff is very helpful for people like us. All right. So Starlink, I've used Starlink before. Super high upload speeds, download speeds, where I was at least. I remember Elon talking about this years and years ago, and like, what if you could have like internet like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, like high speed internet? And it's like, please. And then now it's like, you go to some site, you see like every yacht has like a Starlink satellite on it. Yeah. And like we went to like my wife's my wife. You guys don't know who my wife is, right? To Stephanie's parents' house, and they have like a Starlink there. I'm like, everybody's got Starlink now. Like people like on their like caravans in Canada when they go camping, they're selling a vehicle. They just have a Starlink satellite. So like anywhere you go, like you just always have high speed internet. You just put it on your truck, and you just everywhere you go, it's just full. You know, I was just doing that, just going up the top of the mountain, hang one sheet there, one projector. Movies. Why? Now, I'm not that you need an internet connection for movies if you just download them, but anyways. All right, I had one more advice thing, but we will talk about it next session. Thank you guys very much for joining. As always, if you guys want to grab some of your Waka apparel, so obviously we did the collaboration with Office Boy. Go check that out online right now. wakafarms.com/store. You can get the shirt, the Sulu, umbrella, multiple different kinds of hats. My personal favorite actually though is the trucker cap, the navy blue. I think is sick. We will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for the support at the coffee shop. We launched the media company, so if you guys got like photo shoots or wedding shoots, you know, that's not going to be our main focus, but that's because it's too easy. We want to do like stuff, documentaries and like and our focus is going to be on NGOs, but we absolutely have the ability to do the funerals and the weddings and stuff like that. So if you know anybody who's, you know, having a wedding or a function in Fiji that they want, you know, live streamed, you know, with that, you know, if they have good connection, but if they want good photography and videography, you guys have been watching us online. We have the ability to do that. So let us know, Waka Media. Send us a DM or email us at businessops@wakafarms.com. Until next time, guys, we'll catch you guys at Friday at 4:30. My name is Jonathan. This was On the Mat. Tui's behind the camera. Thank you guys so much for joining. See you guys at Friday at 4:30. Peace.